Hello, folks. Thanksgiving Day 2024. It's been quite a year so far, hasn't it? Quite a year. Um, the way to be happy, if you're not like, just jumping around like a little bunny rabbit, is to just think of all the things to be thankful for. Like I love being out in the sun, and so it snowed like 4 inches here 2 days ago, and I was cleaning off the snow off my truck, and your hand just starts hurting, you know, and if you keep going, you get frostbite. But today it's like sunny. It's just beautiful. After the snow comes in Utah, and then it's sunny. It's just beautiful. The sky's clear, and I got the rest of the ice off my truck, and cleaned up the walkways a tiny bit, and it just it's there's a lot of advantages to being alone. First of all, you don't have to argue as long as you stay off the net. And I just am grateful for everything I have. I'm grateful for a warm place to be. And I look back at 2024, and I had my own personal near death experience. So near death that I should have died. But there was people that were praying for me and helping me out. And so I didn't kick the bucket. But frankly, if they weren't praying, and I wouldn't. I'd be dead. I'd be up in paradise right now. Paradise is the place between now and heaven and hell, because you don't get assigned to your place in heaven immediately after you die. You wait for a little while in a place called paradise. That's why Jesus said to the guy on the cross, "Today I'll see you in paradise." Didn't mean heaven. It's the he'll see him in the spirit world. So the final judgment isn't till later. So I'm kind of glad I didn't die this year. Actually, yeah, I'm really glad, because I feel like I still have things to do, and the things that have happened since I've been in the ICU, I've just been kind of blown away. And just I think about it. I mean, I couldn't even. It was pretty bad, when you can't do anything for yourself. And I was looking at a picture of me with the tubes out my nose, and you can't even think about going to the bathroom by yourself. It just doesn't happen. And I didn't even know where I was for like, oh gosh, 2 weeks. But then things start coming out, you start figuring it out, and people that came by to see you that you didn't even know saw you. Like I got a Spanish friend, Tony. Tony. I don't know. I think about it too much, but he came by to see me, and I don't even remember it at all. He was kind of like a little orphan boy. So when he's like 5 or 6, he went up in the mountains of Mexico. He was hungry, didn't have food. He'd plant corn, and then he would ask God to water the corn. God does that for some indigenous first people. God does miraculous things. And so when he's like a little boy, he told me this story, and he tells me in fluent Spanish. And I was talking to him. I said, Tony should tell more people, because I didn't go to school. Like, I think a lot of times God doesn't want people that have gone to institutions of higher learning, which pollutes their mind, and they become less susceptible to the Spirit of God. And he said, Brent, cuando yo era un chiquitito, como 5 años, como no tenía padre, miré a los cielos y dije, ¿tú puedes ser mi padre? He looked up to the heavens, and he asked God to be his father. And it seemed like God's complied. He's a wonderful man, and he's such a hard worker, and he's a huge organic farmer. From be a little boy with no, most kids don't have shoes and stuff when they're 4 and 5 in poverty-stricken countries. Americans are just extremely spoiled. They have no idea. But I could just see a little Mexican boy in the mountains. God would water his corn for him, up in the high mountains, and a little boy said, ¿Tú puedes ser mi papá? So he's a friend of mine, and he's a huge organic tomato grower here in Utah. And you can just see where things are headed because we transition to this non-polluted world, a world where we have God's laws working. It's going to be great to grow food and drink raw milk without being molested, like is happening in California right now. It's a sad thing about California, but um, the wrong laws have taken over there so much that they're busting another company with raw milk, and they don't even have the evidence. The raw milk's not bad, and they're confiscated. I think like at least 2,000 gallons. I don't know why I'm. Oh yeah, I'm going off. Just be the thing to do, like when you're alone on Thanksgiving or whatever, is gratitude. It can make you happy. I'm so grateful he's my friend. I'm grateful I grew up in Argentina. I'm grateful for a warm place to sleep. I'm grateful for the thousands of friends I've made on the internet. I'm grateful for reconnection with certain people from high school family members, and it's kind of weird when you almost die in the hospital. You start coming back, and at first, I couldn't get in a wheelchair for a while. I remember when I was in ICU, they always want to make you walk, and I don't think I'm a baby, but I had so much fluid built up in my bad knee. A guy would come in. One guy came in. He stuck this huge needle in my knee, and like sucked out all the fluid, and then I could kind of bend my knee, and I was so grateful. So it was like a specialist. He only came in once, but then I was able to at least stand up because they get mad at you if you don't stand up. But I'd start screaming because it hurt so bad, and and now then I was in a finally made it so I could like stand up and then sit in the chair in the other in the hospital room, and then I didn't get in the wheelchair for a while, and then you get a walker, and then you get out of the hospital, and then use the walker, and then pretty soon you can walk alone, and I can walk alone right now. And I went to a Trump rally, and there were people that helped me kind of make it down to the floor, and then I see Juanito at the Trump rally with his Magador coat on. So I think about how far I've come since I almost kicked the bucket, and I was still like in medical care when my birthday came along. Anyway, I've learned a ton this year, but I think a secret way, or not a secret, but a way to kind of be happy. If you're ever thinking, hey, I wish I was having. My dad used to make the best Thanksgiving dinners ever, but I bought some popcorners, so I got some popcorners and some chocolate. I bought some Mr. Goodbar. So, and I have an apple. I'm going to try apple off the frozen tree, and I think it's going to be okay. But if you just think about all the things you can be grateful for, like a warm place to sleep, the fact that you're alive, the fact that you have one friend, and I talk to people. There's a lot of people that are alone today, and then you see Axel, and Axel, I don't know, he's out there with his horse Lakota. Axel was like, he's been like solid for so long. Axel Voss. If you have never seen the West Coast Wizard, you should watch him. Even if you don't agree with him on everything, he's definitely an individual. And I remember when I was in medical facilities, I'd get up there in my wheelchair, and you appreciate people to help you. Some people don't give a damn about you, but it's kind of hard to get through a door when you're in a wheelchair. Sometimes people would open for you, otherwise you just kind of wait till somebody comes, or you just buck up and you open the door. I'd go out there, I'd take off my shirt when it was like 40 in the winter, or maybe 38, and you get in a corner, and I'd bag race and listen to Axel and shoot videos. And then my iPad cracked, and then my iPhone cracked, and I couldn't get on YouTube anymore. So I haven't been on YouTube. Last time I was talking about how excited I was about the Kennedys, like 3 months ago, because Robert Kennedy Jr. kind of popping on the scene as a Republican, and now we got Dark MAGA. I mean, what a year! Dark MAGA jumping around with that big smile, and sometimes you think maybe Dark MAGA isn't really Musk Man, It's kind of, but to me, I loved puzzles when I was little, so trying to figure out who's who is kind of fun. But people get uptight, like this guy's this guy, and that guy's that guy, and that's that person. If you get too dogmatic about it, Or if you make the wrong decision, say this guy's that person, you can really, get off on the wrong path. And I've seen that happen to many people. And so I think, if, in my opinion, and people say, "Oh, Brent, not too many people that are informed will say I'm on the wrong path." But especially nowadays, because if you were pro-Trump, it's looking pretty good, isn't it? If you're pro the Constitution, pro love, pro God. So wow, it's already 10 minutes. Been quite a year. It's not over yet, but I'm not going to complain for 1 second because a lot of people didn't make it through. They died of injuries. They died of military injuries. So I'm still going to read this because I still think that there's a lot to come, but I also believe that the best is yet to come. And I'm used to self-censoring being on YouTube, but YouTube seemed to have lightened up, so I'm grateful for that because I was on YouTube before Google bought it. And it's so interesting to watch these changes of whether you can say this and you can't say this. And I remember Simon Parks said something that was really stupid. He said, "If you're on YouTube, if you're still on YouTube, you're not a patriot." I said, "Really, Simon?" So I'm not. I'm kind of trying to be in a love vibe here, but Simon Parks, like, you're like, you know what? So let's go back to positive. Beautiful blue skies. Happy Thanksgiving. People have wished me happy Thanksgiving. Too far away to eat dinner with anybody, but it's kind of almost more fun to be by myself. That way I can catch up on everything that's going on. Of course, the system's going to collapse, and it's clear to some people. Other people, it's not clear. But sure, you can try to guess, and it's pretty obvious the military planned this out. And so when I sat on the mountaintop above BYU like 3 years ago, military's the only way because you can kind of see it when you figure out the system's corrupt. The only way is to have the army. I was just watching Derek. God bless Derek. He's got his cowboy hat. He's military law. He's got his accent. He's a little rock star. But thank God, God bless Derek for doing his thing. He looks good in his cowboy hat. I got to see him live in Texas once, but I was watching him today. And I like taking in these different perspectives if they're useful. At this point, if it's a bozo or I choose wisely who I listen to and where I spend my time. Um, for instance, Juanito speaks, and then he's kind of all over the place. But I'm grateful for all the patriots out there. I'm grateful for those that prayed for me. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful that I'm walking around. It almost looks like I was in a wheelchair. And it's kind of weird when I've been a super stud athlete, and you beat Bruce Jenner in a shot put back in the day. But I've got one friend. He's so funny because I did beat Bruce Jenner in a shot put just right before he won the Olympics in the decathlon. And this guy, my friend, says, "So what? So what, MOT? You beat a girl?" Oh my gosh, he is just one funny guy. So, God bless America. God bless the U.S. Constitution. I'm grateful that I'm still on YouTube. It took me a while to figure out how to get back on. I had to go through all kinds of hoops and things and back through Google to get on it because the iPad's given up the ghost. But the iPhone, even though you get the cracked glass and it's hard to press the right button and stuff like that. But I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to His children. It's not easy because we're all at different levels in figuring out the truth. And if you kind of get to the point where, you figure it out to a high level, um, there's a lot of people they don't want to see that high level. They can only talk at this level way down here, and then you try to find friends that'll talk here, and you can find them sometimes, but when they're here, you can't force the truth on anybody, okay? And you shouldn't. You can try, but it doesn't work. Truth is truth. It's self-evident, and truth is a knowledge of things past, present, future. That's what the truth is. And And the adversary, Lucifer, Satan, hates the truth because he never got a body, so he's always trying to take over somebody else's body, as are the spirits that followed him. By the way, the spirits that were cast out of the seven, the 1/3, they're all male. So sometime maybe I'll get to a point where I can teach a class, but I would never teach for Buddy because the gospel, you should never teach the gospel for Buddy. But teach a class, uh, about a third of the hosts heaven that were cast out of heaven. They were all male spirits, BTW. But that's kind of a deep, deep thing to find and research. So I'm grateful on this Thanksgiving Day. Kind of look at ending around 17, but yeah, I'm using YouTube Studio now. I figured out how to use that because YouTube won't work to upload. It's just they make it so difficult to find. But YouTube Studio works. But hey, I've been on the internet, since it began, and so it changes, and and I'm like, for instance, right now I'm looking at. I think there's going to be a new Tesla phone. Obviously, there's a new iPhone. There's AI involved and all this stuff, and it's kind of fun to watch the whole Elon Musk. I wasn't a fan of Elon Musk, but I'm a fan now. Sometimes it crosses my mind that he ain't Elon. And even trying to figure out who Juanito is. I think the best thing is look at their works. Look at what they do. Not figure out exactly who they are. Because maybe some people are wearing a mask sometime. There was a leader in the Mormon church a long time ago, a guy called John Taylor, who I really admire. And he was an intellectual. He wanted to be free. Well, he was just a smart, very intelligent man. And people just wanted to kill him. It seems like bad guys want to kill smart people like Tesla, Trump, and anyway, John Taylor they're trying to kill, but he would dress up as an old lady and he was up in Centerville, and he would like walk around as an old lady, and then people didn't think it was tall, handsome Canadian John Taylor, who was one of my heroes. So I hope you folks, we got 17 minutes, have a nice day, and I think something I would like to convey since I'm back on YouTube right now, this will go back up. I'm pretty sure I can get this up today, right now, is 2020, it's not over yet. It isn't over yet, and even the next few years aren't over yet. In my belief, Jesus Christ hasn't had his second coming in glory yet. But I know from deep study scriptures that there's like he comes 5 times to earth. The last one's in glory, where it's going to everybody, the whole world will know, and every knee shall bow. That hasn't happened yet. And everybody will know when that happens because every knee shall bow. Everybody will see it. We might have a fake one, but whatever. Okay, I better post this up here. I'm just haven't shot for a while. I love all my subs. I'll figure out the monetization thing. At this point in time, I don't think I'm talking too much about religion here, but whatever. My former video has my Cash App, which is $ brentjlong Cash App. I've been kicked off all the other ones, but things are changing. The financial system changing, of course, and people are like, well, it's hard because it's obvious to me it's changed, and people are like, well, you've been saying that for a while. Yeah, it's already epic. It's a huge deal. It's already changed. It's just when do you figure it out and realize it, and when do you get a new silver dollar in your hand. Some of you already have a new silver dollar in your hand. Some of them got them for $37. Some of them bought them from the U.S. Mint for $92. And is silver going to go up? Well, right now it's kind of down. And if I had some extra money, I would go down and buy 20 silver dollars right now. At this price, and better to buy something that's easily recognized. 19 minutes. Holy cow. Holy shnikes. Well, I love the world. I'm so grateful I had parents. They're both up in paradise right now. And I'm grateful for both of them very much. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for the patriots that are still hanging in there. I'm very grateful I am for Juanito. That guy's tireless, and I'm grateful for people that like Juanito and get Juanito. And I'm grateful for Nino. And I hope Nino makes a lot of money. He deserves it. What that guy's been through, I hope he makes a shitload of money. And I've got sufficient for my needs. Hang in there, folks. The transition is not going to be without consequence. There's truth and consequences. So God's always there, always. So if nobody else is, but there are people there that love you, and you might not even know about it. You know, when I was almost in the hospital, people were praying for me, and my Spanish friend, oh my gosh, I'll just be bottom line. He took a picture of me. He put it, like I had all the tubes coming out of my nose, I'm on breathing air and all that, air, IVs everywhere. And he put a little thing, he put his name and phone number, and he spelled friend, Friend. He took a picture of it. Gracias, Tony. Que Dios te bendiga y a toda la gente que quiere la verdad, a uno de nuestros enemigos, que Dios te bendiga. Adelante, adelante. En el nombre de Jesucristo, amén.